The next day, I woke up to a terrible storm raging outside. I could see the trees shaking and lightning blinding the sky, and I knew I wasn't going anywhere with such a weather. Instead, I decided that it was the right time to explore a bit more. After all, Blackwood's story intrigued me greatly, and I sought to know more. So after making a good fire in my parlor's fireplace, I started rummaging through old diaries and letters, forcing drawers open and occasionally retrieving keys. What I discovered was terrifying, to say the least. Blackwood not only got the mask through illicit means. Feeling a mask tied to a cannibalistic cult were an idiot. But apparently he got a whole packet of curse with it. He did his research about the Dalmar and discovered that the mask was not simply cursed. It held the god of the Dalmar itself within. Some kind of predator, feline-like creature that liked to prey on the humans, led merely by pleasure in others' suffering. The god was said to have razor-sharp claws that could rip out the very soul of a man. And taking the mask in his home, Blackwood lured something terrible on his own family. From his logs, more and more seldom and confused, I could see how he was slowly becoming insane, and how nobody could see what he was trying to fight. In a trash bin, I also found a letter addressed to his wife, Catherine J. Blackwood, crumpled into a ball, where a family friend wrote how worried he was about her husband's sanity, and that she should keep a close eye on him. A certain Robin, poor Robin, was mentioned at some point too, but I couldn't make out who that was until later. Now, where could Blackwood have possibly put the mask? The ones I saw in the gallery were all rather generic looking. No one seemed, how to say, special. Then I remembered my dream. I felt my fingers twitching as I headed back there, scoring up and down the case with the elephant tusks. Drawing a deep breath, I grabbed the huge case and started moving it away from the wall, inch by inch. When it was finally far enough, I leaned against it for a break, panting and wheezing. But my breath hitched when I saw what I had been almost fearing to find, the door of my dream. I swallowed as I spied a hammer laying at his feet, covered in dust and cobwebs after being hidden there for God knows how long. I picked it up and started taking the nails out of the door, one by one. My heart was hammering from the effort and the fear, yes, fear, when I wrapped my hand around the knob and turned it. I almost screamed. Behind the door, the mask grinned at me from a dark little room, hardly more than a closet. Some thick bamboo reeds were blocking a window, and I made a quick job of moving them aside to let the feeble light of the stormy sky filter in. It didn't help me getting rid of the feel that mask of dark wood and cracked paint was about to jump at my very throat any minute. I hastily left the closet, taking care of closing the door good behind me. More exploring of the house led me to find a room in the attic where someone had set up some sort of painting studio. There I found some plans of the house, probably drawn by Blackwood himself, and with a bit of studying, I realized that on the plans there was a room near Blackwood's bedroom. But I hadn't seen any other door in the corridor. Scratching the wallpaper off with my knife, I saw the plans were right. There was actually a bricked-up door there. The plot was thickening, and I was more and more intrigued. Not having anything heavy enough to smash the bricks down, I sat and racked my brains to find a way in there. Finally, I knew. The small tower rising from the core of the house had a window that looked almost precisely over the mysterious room. After searching around a bit more, I found what I needed, a long piece of rope. I tied it safely to an old lantern on top of the stairs that coiled up in the tower, and tossed the other end of the line out of the window. I was feeling rather crazy for risking my life for something I wasn't even involved in, but I couldn't just help but going on and get my head around this one. So I climbed out and down, carefully placing my feet on the slippery stones of walls and roof tiles as the elements wreaked havoc around me. Finally, with the last of my strength, I was able to kick the window of a mystery room open and open inside. That's how I found myself in what looked by all means like a nursery, except for the bricks soundly blocking the doorway. A cradle was abandoned in a corner, the blankets undone like they had just been lifted, and toys were scattered all around, ready to be used. A small plaster angel face hanging on the wall, supposedly to watch over the room, didn't help me relieving me of the creeps that place gave me. What happened to that poor baby that brought his own family to brick the very room, like they wanted to hide there had ever been a child in their house? After climbing back to the tower's window, cold and dripping and with my head swimming with questions, I decided that I had enough adventures for the day, and I went to bed. I woke up once again in the middle of the night. Something wasn't feeling right. I couldn't hear any strange noise, not really, but there was a feeling gripping my stomach that just wouldn't go away. This time I knew exactly where to go. I headed for the gallery and directly for the door of the closet with the mask in it. The air was so thick with tension I could have sliced it. I swallowed, hesitating to open the door. With all the courage I could muster, I finally reached and turned the knob. The mask wasn't there. That wasn't good. Not good in the slightest. I could feel my heart thumping against the ribcage as I stared at the whole display of bamboo reeds, and the strong urge to get out of there at once had the best of me. I turned around, opened the door again, and the mask was floating behind it, staring at me with all her eyes. I started awake, bathed in cold sweat with my ears roaring from blood pulsing from my system. Another dream, and the scratches were back, resounding all around me. After my hands ceased trembling, for the most part at least, I grit my teeth in sudden rage. Those scratches had something to do with the mask and the curse, I knew it, and I was going to find their source right here and right now. I grabbed the lamp that I brought from my journey. I had been using it quite a bit, and there was enough oil left in it just for so long, and followed the noises to the kitchen and to the door of the basement. Opening it, it was so dark inside I couldn't see a breath from my nose. And even when I lit up the lamp, I couldn't shake the feeling there was something lurking in the shadows, waiting for me to make a false step. I descended down the stairs, feeling like I was climbing down some hellhole. And truth to be told, the basement had indeed that feeling. It reeked of moist and was crammed with discarded objects, each one of them looking like an eerie creature prowling in the dark. There was a large furnace taking a whole wall. It had, like the rest, something I didn't like one iota. Worst of all, the scratches were coming from there. I opened the furnace flap, and peering inside I saw a long, pitch-black tunnel. I supposed it had been built to keep the house warm in its days, and the scratches came stronger than ever from there. Do you really want to climb inside a furnace, girl? I asked myself, knowing what the sole idea was ridiculously dangerous and illogic. Still, I was compelled to climb my way in. On and on I crawled, making it best to not break the lamp in my hand, for a little voice was yelling at me that was the worst idea I could possibly come up with. And suddenly, the scratches were gone. I blinked, peering in the darkness ahead of me, and saw a grate at the end of the tunnel. Wetting my dry lips, I crawled closer, squinting to make out what place of the house that could possibly. And suddenly, the silhouette of a head flashed past the grate. Too scared to even scream, I dropped the lamp and broke into pieces, leaving me in utter darkness. Overrun with terror, I wriggled my way backwards as fast as I could, jumping out of the furnace and stumbling my way up the stairs and out of the goddamn cellar like an animal drunken with fear. I collapsed on the dusty kitchen floor as lightning struck again. And I'm not ashamed of confessing that by the time the thunder echoed, I was nothing more than a trembling heap, curled up on myself and kneeled down in terror. I spent the rest of the night there on the floor.